Here we have the inside of the 2021 Compass Casita 586. If I firstly come to the main control panel just here, we can turn the 12 volt on just by flicking this switch here. As you can see, some of the lights have now come on, and these can all be individually turned on and off on their own switches. We then have entrance lights just here. And then awning light on and off. Beneath that we then have the controls for the heating and hot water. So we have the heating just here. So it's basically displaying the internal temperature at the moment, so you can see it's very warm in here at the moment. It's 30 degrees. If I now click on it, you'll see we have the thermostat just here, so literally just plus and minus, pick whatever temperature you'd like it to be inside the caravan. And then we have power source selection just here. So we have mains electricity using 3.3 amps, mains electricity using 6.5 amps, or mains electricity using 13 amps. So just dependent really on the ampage of the site you're on to try and avoid tripping. If you have no main supply, you can highlight the little picture of the flame and run on the gas. If you have both power sources available to you, you can run in dual fuel mode, which will get you up to temperature extremely quickly. We then have circulation fan on without any heat, so it will just circulate the air around on a warm day. And then back to off again. We have a night setting just here. So it will basically keep the caravan at 12 degrees, which is comfortable for sleeping. And we also have frost protection mode just here, so it will keep the caravan at 8 degrees. If I now come back out of this one, beside that we then have the boiler. So again, it's displaying the temperature of the water in the boiler at the moment, so it's at 18 degrees. Click on it just here. As you can see, it's off at the moment. We will now heat the water on mains electricity using 3.3 amps in eco mode or in standard mode. You'll see here again we have frost protection. This will find the best power source it can. So it's because we're hooked up to main supply at the moment, you'll see we have a little wavy line representing mains electricity. If we weren't connected, you'll get a little picture of a flame letting you know that frost protection mode is going to run on gas. Basically, if the temperature outside drops below about 3-4 degrees, the boiler will just come on to avoid any frost damage. We also have a boost facility just here, so we can boost the hot water. Very handy if there's going to be more than one of you having showers in quick succession of each other. So we can boost it on main supply at 6.5 amps, or we can boost it on gas, or again we can dual fuel it. You can alter the time of this boost as well, which I will show you in a moment. We then have water pump on and off just here. So we need the water pump on to be able to get water out of the taps and fill the boiler if it's been drained down. And then we have timer activation, and again I'll show you how to set timers in a moment. Lastly, in this bottom right hand corner here we have the voltage of the leisure battery, and you'll see at the moment it's in green because we are hooked up to mains electricity. To access the control panel's settings menu, just hold this button in just here. You'll see we have installer just here, so this is more for the workshop. You can't access some of these particular ones on this side. And then as you can see, we then have user on this side. So if we want a heating timer, we select this one just here. You'll see that it's off at the moment. All we now do is pick what we want. So let's say we just want to run the heating on gas, and then we arrow across. We then set the time we would like it to come on, and then go back off again. And then set the temperature you would like it to be on. Then we can move to the next one. Let's say this one we wanted it in dual fuel. Again, we then pick the time, and when we want that timer to go off, and again we then select the temperature. And then lastly, obviously we can set a third one if we want to. Next we have water, exactly the same again, just literally pick what you would like. When you want it to come on again, and what temperature you want your water to be at, so either in eco or in the standard. And again, you can then set your other 3 timers just there. Set your clock just here. Obviously, if you're going to be using timers, you need to set this. Then we have the options menu just here. So if you know how many amps the site is that you're on, literally just pick it on here, and then it will control how many amps you're using. So if you're exceeding your limit, it will just, the item that you're trying to use will not work. That water heater boost timer, so you can either have it in 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 60 minutes, or just have it so it just boosts forever. How long before this screen times out when you're not touching it. The brightness of the screen. Key beeps on and off. Flashing light, basically it's a little blue flashing light that comes down here. I find it very annoying, so I always just make sure it's turned off. And then we go back to the beginning again. If we now come to the bench seat just here and remove the cushions, you can see that underneath here we have storage. We have the alarm box just here. The back of the battery box just here, and then we can see where all the aerial parts plug in just down there. Intake just here for the space heater, and then we have the top of the consumer unit just here. As stated on the sticker here, just make sure you keep this clear because the battery charger just sits on top of here and needs ventilation, or otherwise it will overheat. If we now just drop the front just here, you'll see the front of the consumer unit. So we have the individual MCBs just here, and they're all labelled up, letting you know what each trip switch is for. And then we have the main RCD and test button just here. So if something's not working on main supply, just check to see whether or not you've tripped here. Beneath that we then have the 12 volt fuses, and again if something's not working on 12 volt, just check to see if you have blown a fuse. Underneath the opposite bench seat is storage, which can be got to from the outside. You will also see just down here there is a gas isolation tap for the heating. It is in the on position, and it quite frankly can stay like this. I always say these are more for maintenance than anything else. If you do smell gas in the caravan, always go to the source and turn the gas bottle off. In the overhead locker just here, we have tucked up the top here, the solar panel regulator. We don't really need to do anything with this. It will just smart charge the leisure battery as it's required. We don't really need to be touching this button just here, as we're only using one part of the solar charger. If we had a second leisure battery being plugged into this one here, we can designate how much of the charge goes to each one. Beneath that we have the stereo. As you can see, it does have USB connectivity and auxiliary at the bottom just there. To turn the unit on, press the button that says SRC. SRC will switch you between radio, USB, etc. just there. Search for radio stations or change tracks on a iPod, etc. just on there. Volume control just here. If you need to get into its settings menu, just press the button just here and then just rotate and then just click again. Back off again on the SRC button. Also in here is the television aerial. So we have the digital amplifier for it at the back here, on and off just here. Control the boost just here. And then we have the TV aerial here. To raise the mast, just undo the collar and then just push up and then get it into the position that you require and then lock it back into place. Try to avoid over tightening these collars because you do run the risk of splitting them. This aerial is also used for the radio as well. So if you are in a poor signal area, do make sure it's up, or otherwise you will not be able to tune the radio in either. At the moment the TV aerial is sitting in the horizontal position. It can be flipped to its side in the vertical for additional tuning if required, and you just turn the tail just here to do that. Do make sure that the aerial is down for travel. Electric hot plate just here, so this will work when we are hooked up to mains electricity, and it operates just on here. Then we have the free gas rings to light these. Just push in, twist and press the igniter. Grill below. And then the oven. Beneath the oven we have storage, but we also have two more gas isolation taps. Top one for the fridge, and then we have the cooker just here. And then you'll also find that there's a plug plugged in underneath here, which is for the electric hot plate. Microwave just here, and like the hot plate will work when hooked up to mains electricity. Do make sure that all the contents are removed for travel. It has a quick start facility, stop, power settings here, wait time, defrost, etc. All the normal bits that you get with most modern microwaves. Plugged in just here. The sink with the cover and the draining board. We then have the Dometic fridge on and off just here. we can run the fridge on main supply if we're hooked up on the little picture of the 2-pin plug. If we don't have main supply, we can run it on gas. We just press the little picture of the flame and the fridge will auto ignite itself. If it fails to ignite, it will begin to beep and you'll get a red flashing light just here. To make the fridge attempt to light again, just press the button just here. It does explain it just here within the manual. And then lastly, we have 12-volt maintain to keep the fridge cold whilst we're towing. So at the moment, if I press this, it will beep at us because we are currently not hitched up. Temperature control just here. Removable freezer box just here. Just need to undo the clips on both sides. Storage underneath this dinette seat and also underneath this one, but this is also the location of the boiler drain valve. So as you can see, the boiler is located here. We also have the gas isolation tap for it just here. To drain the boiler down for travel and winterization, all we need to do is firstly make sure that the water pump is turned off, and then come to the lever and push it across like so, and it will then begin dropping all the water out of the boiler. I always suggest that if you are fully winterizing the caravan, that you also go around the caravan and open up all of the taps like so, because this will aid in releasing any airlocks in the system and help it drain down much better. When it comes to refilling the boiler, make sure that the lever is back in this position here. Close all of the taps, fill up the aqua roll, drop in the submersible, and then make sure the control panel's on and turn the water pump on. The pump will then begin to run and we'll start filling the boiler back up again. When the boiler is full, it will go back to how it looks now. If you have fully winterized it, you will then need to open your taps. They'll cough, they'll splutter as they force the air out. Once they're running freely, just close back down again, and then the system will fully reprime itself. Washroom just here. So we have the shower cubicle and the shower screen. Do make sure that the shower screen is secured for travel. Basin and the Thetford toilet. To open to the cassette, slide the grey lever across, push to flush on the top, level indicator just here so it will illuminate when the cassette needs emptying, and then close the cassette back up again. If this has been left open and you try to remove the cassette from the outside, it will not come out, so if you do feel resistance, just make sure that nobody has left it open. Nice large wardrobe at the back. We then have the top bunk and the lower bunk plenty of storage beneath the lower. Freestanding table just here. Carbon monoxide alarm and smoke alarm just here. They are just battery operated, so just press the buttons from time to time to make sure they're fully operational. And then we also have the PIR sensor for the alarm. Again, just press this from time to time and the red light will flash, letting you know that it's working. Again, this requires batteries as well. If the alarm is going off and it cannot be turned off on the fob itself, maybe because the battery's gone flat, it can be turned off at this point just here using the little blue fobs that are supplied. Just push them in and it will then disarm the alarm. With the front bed just here, it's nice and easy to make. You can either have it as a small double or as a large. For the small double, all we need to do is just pull out and then just make sure that it's then resting on the bungs just there, and then it's just a matter of dropping in the cushions like so. There's no real right or wrong for this. Some people flip the cushions over. It's whatever is most comfortable for yourselves. If you're going to have it as a large double, the chest of drawers can be removed. So to remove the chest of drawers, we have a clip just here. Just pop it under. And then what we want to do is slightly pull the chest of drawers towards us. This will then release it, and then it's then just a matter of picking it up and then once it's removed, again it's then just a matter of dropping in the cushions like so, and then making the rest of the bed like I did a moment ago. With the two dinette beds, to make the top bunk, firstly we just need to remove the table. There's just two clips underneath here, and then we just lift it up and it will then come off, and then we just fold the leg. And then once we've removed the table, we then just take the cushions out of the way, and then we can see the top bunk. With this, all we need to do is grab hold of it, pull it towards us, and as we're pulling it towards us, what we're doing is we're then flipping it over like so. If we now just bob underneath it, you'll see that there are poppers that we just undo. And then once they're released, we can then flip it like so, and then clip the poppers just up here. Once we've done this, we can then flap these wooden sections and drop them in. And then once we've done this, all we then need to do is take the mattress and pop it into place. And then lastly, the ladder then just clips on just here. For the lower bed, take the table and rest it onto the section just here. And then pop the cushions on. If you were just having a lower bed and not the bunk, these cushions would suffice because you wouldn't get a gap at the back. But if you are using both, as you can see, you have a gap, and that is what this fold out infill is for.